Welcome everybody to Snake Cinema Reviews. I'm your host, Prince Elias. This is my boy Stitch, and today we are reviewing, what are we reviewing? Fear Street 1666. This is part 3 of the Fear Street trilogy series, and it mostly takes place in 1666, but it also goes back to the previous films, 1994. But you know, if you want to see the rest of my reviews or hear me explain the Fear Street series on Netflix, go to the previous reviews. But this one is the third installment, third film, and it mostly takes place in 1666. And what the difference between this and the previous two, but the previous two are more slashers. They're more you know, slasher horrors from like the 70s, the 80s, 90s. This one is more of a period piece, like the Salem witch trials, witchcraft, stuff like that. You know, films like The Witch or Wicker Man and stuff like that. That's where, you know, you can see the inspiration from. And so I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it a lot. However, it was, as far as fear goes and horror goes, it wasn't as scary or tension as the previous two, in my opinion. I'm not really a big fan of period pieces, especially back in those days, 1666, because any movie, regardless of the genre, whether it's romance, horror, suspense, whatever, comedy, I just hate that time period because it just doesn't appeal to me. That time period does not, oh sorry Stitch, that time period does not appeal to me whatsoever. It does not entertain me whatsoever. All I think about is how funky and disgusting that time period is whenever I watch films and TV shows based there. So this was the least one I was looking forward to, but it did not disappoint. And I think it was because my expectations were low, but it was very good. It was very well done. The actors did a great job. Very well choreographed, and I'm glad that they did split, you know, the 1600s and 1994 timeline with this film instead of letting the entire film be 1666. I feel like I would be over it had it been the entire film. So it does answer questions from the previous films. It does answer a lot of the plot that you might have had with the other two films, and I enjoyed the conclusion. I really do enjoy the conclusion. I think it concluded very well. It ended very well. The acting was amazing. The suspense was amazing, and the last part of the film, when it went back to 1994 to stop the bad guy, to stop the evil and the killers, all the monsters. I love those sequences, and I love how they defeated everyone. It was in the mall, you know, that whole sequence was amazing and fun, and it was great. It was a great ride. This whole series was a great ride, and I like that it kept the spirit of R.L. Stine, the books, the Fear Street books, and I love that it kept the spirit and the attitude and the storytelling of R.L. Stine, but the story was its own thing. And I look forward to what they might have in the future. I hope they make more Fear Streets. I would like for them to make a film based off the actual books, like pick a couple of stories from the actual books, because I remember reading those. But I love this trilogy that they gave us. This was, I feel like, a very ambitious project that the creators and Netflix done, but I like it. I like that they made it a trilogy. They made it a weekly release thing, and they just made it an event, and it was great, and it was executed well. I feel like it was very executed well, because it could have went downhill from the very beginning or went downhill in the middle and just been trash. But they really gave us 3 solid films, and they all worked well in their own way. And so I really enjoyed it. I think it was great. I would give this film in particular, Fear Street 1666, 8.5 out of 10. But as a whole, as a trilogy, all these films together, this whole story together from beginning to end, a 10 out of 10 for me. I loved it. I enjoyed it. No complaints really here. And so, but yeah, out of all 3 films, this might have been the weakest one for me. But again, it's 8.5 out of 10, so it's not really that weak. It's not really bad. It's just preference when it comes to like timelines or storylines, because I really don't care about 1600s. But I like that this whole trilogy as a whole had me care about characters, even as cliche as some of these characters were, as stereotypical as some of these characters were when it comes to horror, the horror genre. They still made you care for all these characters. And so I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna keep rambling because I feel like I'm repeating myself, but this was a great solid effort from Netflix, from the creators, the directors, the writers, the actors. And I'm glad that R.L. Stine's Fear Street books are getting the credit that they deserve, because we always talk about Goosebumps. R.L. Stine always get acknowledged for the Goosebumps series, but he created so many different sub-series that nobody ever talks about, and Fear Street was one of them, and I love that. And so I'm glad they're getting their shine. But anyways, I'm gonna go. Stitch is bored. But let me know what you think of the trilogy. Did you watch it? Are you gonna watch it? Comment below, let me know. How do you rank all 3 films? So I've watched so many people's reviews and thoughts on Twitter, and everybody ranks them differently. Some likes part 1 better, some like part 2 better, some like part 3 better. So how do you rank it? Comment below, and we will check y'all in the next review. I'm Prince Elias, this is Stitch, and we are Snake Cinema Reviews. Peace.